Hello and welcome to today's yoga question. I'm Lizzie Lasater and joining us is Judith Hanson Lasater. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Lizzie.
Welcome to the first video of our Preggo Poses series, which is a focus on prenatal yoga. Mom, today I'd love, in general terms, for you to tell us about your philosophy for prenatal yoga. What are some bullet points of what you think about when you teach prenatal yoga or when you practiced prenatal when you were pregnant?
I'd like to start with showing you this book.
Yeah, we can see it.
It's called Yoga for Pregnancy, written by me. That is not Lizzie on the cover. She was a baby then. And it's got a lot of the information in this whole series. So you might want to check that out. You can get it in all the usual places.
And I'll put a link in the notes of this.
All right. So number one is listen more.
Okay.
We're so used to young and healthy women practicing yoga. We're so used to telling our bodies, stand on your hands, stand on your head, go up into back bend, do this, do that, do this. And we need to cultivate during pregnancy, I think, a sense of asking your body what it needs. So remember that asana practice was basically created for men living in monasteries, not for pregnant women living in the world. And so when you listen more, what will arise is allow yourself to let your yoga be bigger. Maybe it's not for a series of Ashtanga right now. Maybe there's a little more time for deep relaxation. Maybe there's more time for meditation, some pranayama, some reading of the sutra, and a lighter asana. It's not going to always be like this. Your body's going to go back and you're going to get your practice back. But listening to what your body needs in the moment is so important because it's the best preparation for labor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not just pregnancy, but it's a great preparation for labor to really feel and be in harmony with your body, what it's needing. Does it need to change position? Do you need to walk? Do you need to lie still?
Mm-hmm.
What does your body need? And really, you can cultivate those listening skills during your pregnancy. The next one is that.
Wait, I have a follow-up. So right now I'm 8 months pregnant, and I'm finding that to be totally true. I'm doing that. I'm listening a lot as much as possible. And in the sense, because I had a decade or more of asana practice before I got pregnant, I'm finding it really easy in my home practice to kind of know what poses feel good in each stage of the pregnancy. But how do you reconcile that? Do you still recommend that same overarching idea for someone who comes to yoga during a pregnancy?
Yes, because developing those lines of communication, making them super highways is what's going to help you during your pregnancy. You'll know, not that food, not this, not that. Now I need to rest. You'll trust it. The more you use it, the more you trust it. It'll help you with labor. And as I was about to say, it is the key to mothering.
Yeah.
Listening to yourself, seeing your child, that same intuitive connection, because it happened many times to me, and it's really true for most people often, is that the child may be acting kind of, not have any symptoms, doesn't feel particularly hot or doesn't seem to have any symptoms, but their behavior is different. Mm-hmm. They just go and get in their bed when they're 2 years old. Like, wait, what's up with that? This kid is always on the move. So learning to trust yourself first is the critical mantra. Trust yourself first, because as you know, every single day is different. Like, you get up and you think, okay, now I've got this pregnancy thing handled. Bam, something else. Mm-hmm. There's something else is going on. Well, that's true with mothering. You think, oh, they're now in a routine. They're sleeping from this time to that time. And they do that for 3 days and then they have a new thing. And so trusting yourself, being present, listening to your body, these are the skills of pregnancy, labor, and mothering.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Okay.
My second one is, I am strongly a believer in no inversions during pregnancy. Zero.
Okay, let me ask just to clarify. Inversions you define as poses where the head is below the heart. So
Yes. I don't mind early on a short dog pose, but not beginning second trimester. I want you to put your hands on the wall and do a half 90-degree dog pose. But here's the reasoning that I have. In the first trimester, that's when implantation occurs.
mm-hmm.
That's when the placenta, the baby, they're really connected to your uterine lining. And no one knows, and this is really important for all of us to know and to hear and to remember and to respect. No one has studied the effects of inversions in first trimester because it would be unethical.
Mm-hmm. Scientific, yeah.
Yes, scientifically. And so as a student of yoga, and certainly as a teacher of yoga, why take any chance at all?
Mm-hmm.
This could interfere with
I've heard you say before, I don't want that on my karma for my
I don't want that on my karmic roll. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the second trimester, that's when the baby has the most chance to move around. Perhaps the cord could get wrapped around the neck or some other place, part of the body. And this is anecdotal, but I was told by a yoga teacher in another system of yoga than the one we practice, mainly restorative and based on Iyengar training, that she knew 7 women in her system, healthy young women who were still doing inversions the whole time and who had the cord wrapped around the baby's neck at birth. So who knows? Maybe that was, I'm not saying it's the cause. I'm just saying I'm very cautious. Third trimester, now the baby is head down. And there is scientific studies that have shown there's a way of actually turning a baby which isn't head down by lying on a slant board during certain weeks at a certain height. Don't go looking this up on the internet and doing it on your own. Adamantly, always speak to your doctor. But if that is known, if it's known that during the third trimester, you can actually cause the baby to turn position, well, that tells us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say no inversions during pregnancy.
What about,
think of it when you're upside down in headstand, right? Or shoulder stand. You've got the weight of the amniotic fluid, the enlarged uterus, the weight, they may have put some weight in your legs or your butt.
maybe,
You've got the baby weight, you've got all of this weight now falling down on your diaphragm, which is difficult to breathe, and it's pressing on the heart and lungs. And I'm even meaning Viparita Karani, and certainly lying on your back, putting your legs up after the first trimester on the wall with no elevation. So I'm very adamant in this particular point.
I was skeptical, but I have to say, I tried a couple times, a few things, and they didn't feel good. I felt as though my body was saying, stop doing this motion. Although I know a lot of women who are practitioners, there's something about the continuity of their practice that they don't want to give it up. It's like, just because I'm pregnant doesn't mean I can't do X. There's that idea.
Yeah, well, there is an idea that, of course, pregnancy is a healthy thing.
It's not a sickness.
And it's not a typical thing in the sense of your body is in a completely different state. And what I finally got actually with you, my third, was that giving up was exactly the letting go that allows birth and allows a baby to grow in you and allows you to let go into this new state of mothering. When I had my first baby, I was a yoga teacher who had a baby. And then a second one, and you, the third one, but I turned into a mother who taught yoga. And that was a letting go process. And I think that's what that's about. I cannot imagine, if we go back thousands of years, women living in villages, helping each other give birth in the birthing hut and all, people were not doing inversions during pregnancy. We pay so much extra for natural.
Yeah.
But if we think about, it's an unnatural thing. So I want to conclude with this. Don't confuse the familiar and the healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Just because something is familiar to you, drinking 5 sodas a day, doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. The opposite is true too. Just because let's see, it's healthy. I don't know if can we turn that phrase around?
Don't confuse the familiar with the healthy. So the healthy, no, not really. The healthy with the familiar.
Can't really. All right. So just because it's familiar to you does not necessarily mean it's healthy. It might be, but it might not be. And in these few precious months, why not act from a deep place of self-compassion? Final thing, third thing, don't push the stretches.
So that's your third point, your third bullet point. The first point is listening. The second point is no inversions. And the third is don't push stretches. What do you mean by that?
Well, you have a hormone that's released during pregnancy called relaxin, and it's non-end organ specific. Okay, take a breath, listen to those words. It doesn't act specifically on just one organ. Like there are biochemicals in our body that are end organ specific, that just work on the ovaries or just work on the muscles, but not relaxin. Relaxin works on every part of you. It relaxes the ligaments that hold the joints. It relaxes the blood vessels. So sometimes people get varicose veins. It relaxes the sphincter muscle at the top of the stomach. So some people get heartburn. It relaxes everything and the abdominals, especially the abdominals, because the abdominals have to let go so that your uterus can grow up and out of the pelvis. Mm-hmm. So don't push the stretches. You're already moving. That's how actually I knew I was pregnant.
Really?
Very quickly, within a very short period of time with your older brother, I could just feel how much more stretchy my body was. I'm like, whoa, I bet I'm pregnant. It was so dramatic. So you don't want to overstretch everything. You want everything to go back at the end. So those are my 3 points.
Thank you so much, Mama. That was lovely. Lovely.
Trust yourself first.
Trust yourself first. This is such a lovely way to start our series of conversations, Preggo Poses. You can find more from me by going to www.shavasana.life, and more from Mama, you can find www.judith.yoga. So those are places to jump on our mailing lists and stay in touch with us. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.